see the Arabs don't want to help the Palestinians cross the border. I don't know why, and them say we are going. The Israeli them start a next war with the Iranian them. Yeah, them start a next war, them kill off some of the big man them down there. And I beg Donald Trump for drop the big, almost 1,000-pound ton bomb, which part them supposed to have the build the weapon of mass destruction. Hey, you remember where them do with Saddam, saying they have weapons of mass destruction, and them invade Iraq. Whole heap of people, thousands of people dead, including American. Only if you realize the man never have no weapons of mass destruction. I wonder if it's the same thing I go reach them. Because the Israeli them are beg Donald Trump for coming at the war, which mean they are ready. They are ready. So we're going to see what's going to happen, you know. Because, may I tell you, the Iranians, them, it's not like the Iranians how much years ago when them did a fight Iraq. Yes, it's not the same Iranian, you know. So, if you watch what them are do, because we don't want it spread over here, so, you know. Yeah, if you don't mind sharp, it spread over here, so, too. Things that are way for spreading, especially when it's a bad thing. When it's a bad thing. Yeah. So here we know, Debbie the Fire. We're going to play Debbie the Fire. Here we go. Debbie the Fire coming through. Where there's love, there's life. We'll lose one heap of that on Earth, you know. And can't believe so one man a cause so much mischief. It hurt, yeah. Trust me, man. Enough things surround him. Enough things. So here we know. Supposed to have an interview here, but well, 2 interviews we have still, but one supposed to come now, but it's not there. So we'll just continue the journey. This, we'll tell you about an artist who passed away. We never tell him name a while ago, but Leroy Gibbons, for those of you who don't hear, Leroy Gibbons passed away. Yes, that's a serious thing. Every other week, we hear of an artist who gone left way. You know, Leroy Gibbons, the last time I seen him perform was for Rebel Salute. And he was on Rebel Salute the year before too. And I think he was on it the year before too. Yes, him always get a good response on the stage. Well, dapper. Yes, dapper, well dapper on stage. Who are yell up him family and him friends all over the world who know say him fuse reggae and dancehall and him is a cover man. When I say cover man, I mean say him take a whole heap of foreign tune and do them on 2 cards with him. Jamaican artists is the only artist who do them something like that. We take foreign tune where have whole heap of this and whole heap of that music in there. And them singing on a 2 card with him. Yes. And Mr. Gibbons was one of them who, anytime you hear him, man, most of the tune them when him sing a cover version. Most of the tune them. And it's really amazing to know, say, Jamaican people can do that. Any tune where you get Jamaican to sing, which, whether it's a serious soul song, a disco song, any song where you get Jamaican to sing, and give them 2 cards. They just show it by the 2 cards, say, yeah, look here. And they must sing, you know who good with that too? Oh gosh, I still get him name, but Jamaican artists do that. Foreigners can't do it. Because they don't know how to twist them voice. They don't know how to twist them voice. Yes, Sanchez. I don't see my Bible name. Sanchez have the art of twisting foreign tune, man, and make it sound like a female. Yeah, and this bridge in here, me I tell you, him not easy. Like all that tune, you know, that tune, yeah, when him sing that tune, yeah, I would want to go to feel a film tune. How the tune come up? Hey, where you deal with? Tune? Okay, here goes. Yeah, the man Leroy Gibbons passed away. Give thanks to science and technology, where these voices can be heard hundreds of years after. Yeah, man. Whether it depend vinyl, whether it depend jump drive, a little more, anything where them go discover and do for preserve music, depend, all them tunes are going to get preserved upon it. Yeah, man. Leroy Gibbons. Our little tribute to the man called Leroy Gibbons. So, we have an interview with our sister who I'm going to say 30 odd years now, she had do a festival in Canada. With enough people from Jamaica go up there, go do them thing. And it's not just music. It involves a whole heap of things. So we're going to make you tell you about it. Why yell you up? Yell up.
Yell up, yell up.
I catch you though, I catch you.
Muta.
Hey, them a call you, answer your phone, you know. You go forget to lift, you know.
No, I'm answer the phone, man. When
you answer today?
Today, yes.
It's a long time she call you, you know, answer.
No, man. 2 times she called me, man said she called me 3 times, man said 2 times.
They never answer. The first time you never answer then.
The first time, answer the second and third time. Anyway, I'm here now.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man. All right, so we could ask you now, how much years you had to do this thing, yeah? Or tell me.
All right, so here's the thing. Rastafest is 32 years old.
Wow.
Masani production is 45 years old. However, the Rasta activity in Toronto that I've been involved with from 1977. So you're talking more than 45 years.
No, I tell them say your name Masani, you know. Sorry if you don't remember your name. Not remember your name, but call your name. Masani, yes. The sister named Masani we are talking to.
Yes.
Well, yeah, so it's 30 odd years.
32 years Rastafest, 45 years Masani production, but from 1977. Really from 1977 the Rasta work, and that's because from 1975. Yeah. When Bob Marley came to Toronto, you know, the handful of Rastas went through a lot of persecution.
Oh, yeah?
From 75, when Bob Marley come to Toronto, 3 days after the Bob Marley concert, for 1 full week, the media, the police, immigration, lots of vicious attack on the Rasta community in Toronto.
Why?
Well, I mean, remember back in 85, you know, I mean, what I did, they imported a lot of negative things from New York. The ones that remember what was happening in New York back in 1985 with the Rasta community and some dreadlocks people had committed some crime. They said Rasta time bomb, Rasta they explode, Rasta terrorists. We were the terrorists back then in 85, you know. When they matter about it, and so forth. They matter about terrorists. Now, so all that did kind of have an impact on the handful of Rasta in Toronto after Bob Marley visit. So from 85 and coming up, no, we might talk 85, 75. We might talk 75. No, man, in 1975, we are talking about, not 85.
Yeah. Well, come there in the early 90s, come to show me and my band, come to a couple show, many times still, but that time in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, the 90s when things cool down.
Yeah.
But it's hot them time in the 70s, man. What? 75, 76, 77. 78 coming up, 79, Rasta in Toronto, Rasta in New York. I'm sure things are happening in Jamaica, but New York and Toronto very much intertwined, you know.
Yeah, because Jamaican vibes.
Yeah, because not one to realize it, but you know, Toronto has the 3rd largest Jamaican population in the world, you know. Outside of Jamaica, I think New York is 2nd and England is 1st. But Toronto, we have the 3rd largest Jamaican population in the world. So whatever happened, what's happening in New York, what's happening in Toronto on a smaller scale, and ones that run from New York come to Toronto do things, and people are leave from Toronto go to New York. So Toronto and New York are intertwined.
Maybe I want to make Trump want to colonize, you know. Make the 51st state.
Just take away the border, you'll never become a 51st state,
so
you know.
If say a false line, people don't sit down there and just draw a straight line.
You know, Americans running across the border now. Welcome to the 51st state. I don't
they run left America.
Of course.
Yeah. Me about that. All right, tell me about the festival now, Carl. I think at one time you come up the feet already, or at 2 times.
Yes, you did. You came in 2006.
Oh, yeah? Well,
2006. No, 2007. And I tell you why. 2006 was Tony Rebel. Tony Rebel came 3 times already, you know. Tony Rebel come 2 times in 2006. August 2006, September 2006. And then you came 2007.
Okay,
right?
Okay.
Yeah, York University. And then through the years, so many artists, too many to call. I mean, Mighty Diamond.
Yeah, I know that. I know.
So many. Enough.
All right, so what going to happen this year now? August.
So this year now, what is it now? It's a 5-day celebration. So it's a revisit of the 82 conference, 83 conference, 84 conference, and then the Rasta Fest itself. So in 1982 are the first international Rasta conference. In 1983, the second international conference was held in Jamaica. And in 84, we have Voice of Thunder with Bongo Water, Ras Island, Ras Ayentan in 84 at York University. So what we're doing, we're revisiting those early gathering of Rastas. Enough one talk about the RITA conference and forget that before the RIT in 83 was in 82 in Toronto. So we have the conference August 13 and 14 at York University, and then the festival is August 15, 16, and 17. So it's 5 days. And why we do the conference and the festival? Because enough one come a Rasta Fest enjoy it as a concert. However, they don't know about Rasta. So we have make sure they have the educational component.
Yeah, not just a reggae festival.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get away from it being a reggae festival. We have good shows, I must say. We have good concerts. Yeah. Last year was Leroy Sibbles and all that. And we have a good concert, but I'm trying to move away from it being a reggae concert. When you hear Rasta Fest, I mean, you come experience Rasta culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to learn more the liberty, the culture, the history.
Mm-hmm.
So the first 2 days, educate them through, information on the conference at York University, and it's been hosted by CERLAC. And why I mentioned CERLAC now, CERLAC is the Center for Latin American and Caribbean Studies. Okay. It's a research center at the university. And then the 3 days now at Little Jamaica. Now, Little Jamaica is very important in Muta because here's what's happening now. They gentrified in the 70s. Jamaicans used to have an area called Eglinton. Now it's been gentrified. They have knocked down building, build up condo, bringing subways, black people again move out.
Like
so
Harlem.
Harlem and Bronx.
And Brixton in England. Yeah.
So Little Jamaica, so the area that we are keeping the festival is called Little Jamaica. Studio M, my business is in Little Jamaica. I'm also on the director for the area in that Little Jamaica because you see, the subway going to open in September. Condos are being built up. You're talking millions of people moving in because, of course, where there's a subway, there's money. But what about the black people them in the 70s who helped build the Jamaicans who built that area? So that's why it's called Little Jamaica, the area is actually called about it. Yeah. So that's where the festival is going to be for 3 days. Okay. So the 2 days we have the reasoning. In the night time we have the reasoning in the black community in Little Jamaica. So it's a day and night program. And then
when I say the reasoning, what do you mean? When I say the reasoning?
Well, you see, the conference at York University is going to attract a lot of students and academics. However, the community now, we want to make sure that the community also has access to that reasoning, that information, that knowledge. Okay. So that session I'm going to be in the Little Jamaica community.
Okay.
That's going to say reasoning, like a gathering, and so forth. Because again, remember now, we still have to work with the black community in Little Jamaica, which may not be at the conference in the daytime at York University. That's going to say community reasoning. So it's a gathering of reason and information, and also a Rasta exhibition. So we're going to have things about the Rasta culture on it throughout the 5 days. to educate ones about it. Again, remember now I try to move away from it being a reggae concert.
Reggae concert, yeah. All right, let me ask you something. Because I must say, the brethren, who you have a look about them visa thing there, may I tell you, man, the man come like a computer, man. The man efficient, till him can't efficient no more, man. Just all right, so you know, are so much people you carry go up there? Well,
we have different relationship with different ones, as you know, in Jamaica.
Yeah.
When it comes to women, I'm talking Rastafari. So Rastafari Indigenous Village. Rastafari Indigenous Village are first man. So about 5 ones from Rasta Village.
First man, and Virgin them.
But we have a cultural exchange program between Rasta Indigenous Village and Rasta Fest.
Okay.
So I mean, for a long time, about 10, 12 years, we have been having this. Man. So they're overdue, you know. They should have been here coming up like 5 years ago. They got the visa much time there. So they're really overdue for this. So and we also do things at Rasta Village too. Last month, for example, we brought artists from Toronto to Rasta Village. So we have that cultural exchange program between Rasta Village and Rasta Fest. So that group is coming up. Michael Barnett, of course, is coming up. Imani Tafari, and the list goes on. Ras Kwazi, and Madam Moses, you know, and so forth. And
she tell me that, you know, the other night we come from Junior Biles thing, and she tell me that she come up the toe. Yeah.
Well, Madam Moses is no stranger to Rasta Fest. She has been here
I know. She's not stranger to nothing at all. She's not stranger to nobody, nothing. Yes.
Yeah, but apart from that, though, you know, you're supposed to know we kind of belong to the same organization, Emperor Zion. So the Emperor Zion organization has been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm part of it, and Madam Moses part of it too. So, yes, we have a relationship that way too, you know, through the organization.
Okay.
Yeah. So quite a few ones coming up. We're working with the Rasta community in Toronto. Of course, you know, Rasta Fest is not for the people who look like Rasta. When I say look like Rasta, now when they say, well, if you have locks, it's a roots and culture festival. So everyone come to Rasta Fest. You know, Muslim, Christian, Jew, everybody come to Rasta Fest. It's a roots and culture festival. Because one's wise about the Rasta culture kind of thing. Okay. And I must say, though, Muta, you know, in the 32 years we have had a fest, we have never hired police to come to the festival. Never. You know why? Because we use the music as our security. Okay. You know, we don't do the dance, we don't do the flatness, we don't do none of that. We don't do certain heights.
I think you do that, man. I rat off his name, can do that.
No, but you have some dreadlocks people who do them things that too.
No, but the title of the festival, Rasta Festival, it can't have where you tell me say you not have. It obviously not have that.
And that's why certain dreadlocks artists would never be hired for Rasta Fest. You know, they will not be hired. I mean, to be on the festival is very exclusive. We're very exclusive at the whole book, yeah. But a good look this year, 5 days. You know, a lot of ones coming up for it. We really want to make sure that after 32 years, it become a more Rasta Fest as opposed to a reggae concert kind of thing. You know? So the reason going to be a big part of it, drum making, craft. I have to mention something. We're pushing the Rasta Fest marketplace because we do have a lucrative marketplace. So people who can't make it up, like craft artists who cannot make it up, can give art and their craft to ones who are coming up, and we'll sell it at the festival.
Oh, when you leave? When you leave? Today, no, not today, so today. When you leave?
Listen to me. Tomorrow, this time, I'm in Toronto.
Which part you there?
Right now, I'm in the Orchard.
I want to get something to carry. Never do I watch you there.
So why don't want to give it to me?
No, because I know that you talk about that. I say, right, I should have give you. Uchi, you don't come back at town at all. I'm going to go take the plane.
I'm flying from Mobile tomorrow, man. I was in Kingston yesterday. I was in Leonard Howard. Yeah. Oh, so you don't come back before that? Then? It's my second trip for the day. To be honest for the year. To be honest with you, I really tend not to leave Toronto close to the festival.
All right, you know. Tell me who I go when you reach up. Tell me who I come. Me give them something to carry for me.
But everyone I come at the same time, you come.
Yeah, they know that. Me I say, yeah. Me one can't carry, me I carry.
Well, reach out to First Man.
First Man.
First Man, I want 5-1 some Rasta Village, come to Rastakura. Michael Barnett,
right.
Madam Moses.
Yeah, maybe Madam Moses, because she didn't near me.
Talking about that, as you mentioned, Carol, what about the book? You know, launch a book of Rasta for Toronto, that put it out there, you know.
We would have to go talk to the publisher for that, but me talk about my something. When me have.
So the book is not your something.
Well, I my something, but I know me publish it.
So what?
So we have to go talk to the publisher. You see, them have a thing I go on with a book there because them can't get it print. If somebody up there order it, them can print it in Canada same time and them get it.
Okay, so print on demand.
Yeah, if somebody up there would have to go tell Ian Randall. Ian Randall publish it.
All right, so here what you do then. Send me the information. We'll contact them because we'll definitely include the book at the university as well as the festival. That's not a problem.
Yeah, because we have a big launch up at Rotterdam, you know. Big launch at Rotterdam.
So you know what? A big launch at Rotterdam.
Yeah, but me not say no. When I tell you, say, the person who will have it at Rotterdam or the people them who actually write it.
Okay.
See, it's the University of Austria. Some student at University of Austria, they put it together with a professor. So that is why it get in a Rotterdam. I now get it in a London. We do a big launch in a London because the man who did it up in London talk to Randall and them get it up the film on the spot. And so if somebody want it up there, they would have to go talk to Randall and Randall know if to get it print up there. Same time.
Well, not a problem. I'm also attached to the university, so y'all can...
All right, well, I'm going to send you the information. We have to move now, though. We're going to send you the information, all right?
Yes.
So we talk before them time there?
Yes, we'll talk before August.
All right, give thanks. And the publishing a book, you know, I never know, say, you did have a situation where if you go any country you are going in the world, and you want your book them reach there, you would have to actually carry it physically, the book them. And that is where we did find out with Ian Randall, the publisher there, when him say, I tell him something about England and the African who say, him have, well, not him have it, but him work with 5 bookstore up there. And me I say, me not carry no book, but they don't graduate them, will heap a book there. Him say him want some books, so me give him the address for Ian Randall. And when me reach up there, him say him get the book there. Me say, oh, you get the book. Him say, you know, the amount what you want, you get it up there. When me go to the man, say about 200 of the book them, you know. Me I say, there's so much book you take, man. By the time we reach the 4th bookstore, you know, him say him not sell no more. Because him not go have none for the 5th bookstore. And by the time we reach the 5th bookstore, that is it. None of them no left. I tell you, say, this modern day technology thing, it not stop you so man, because the book them actually reach up there before me. Yeah, the book them actually up there. When me go to the first bookstore, me see the book them in the store there, about 200 of them in order from Ian Randall down here. And down here I'm doing it, you know. Ian Randall just call, so by my call up there. And just get it done. Well, the same way with Astra too. Them print it up there, in the country where you're there. And you want your book them. Same way with America. You just, the publisher just go so bam bam, and them just, the book them, and you just, when you're up there, the book them reach before you, and they said there. Science and technology, not easy. Okay, so we're done with that now. So we're there with you. So we see some things that go on in Israel, Iran right now where it's not lovely, it's not lovely. And this group of people who say them are Israeli have two wars going on at the same time now. One of them a wipe out the Palestinians them out of the land, and two of them a bomb Iran. Now, I hear a pass in Jamaica. I tell Jamaican black people who don't know better, say the people them in Israel and make way for the return of Jesus. The Israel, the people them who call themselves Israeli, Netanyahu and him friend them, and make a way for Jesus' return. Because that is the place where Jesus are going to return. That is where the pastor them I tell the people them in a Jamaica. Now, if you know the history of those people, you'd have never said that. Because, especially when you go, watch a man, me and Tony, I go through the airport, man. Why you love Tony Rebel, you know? Me and Tony Rebel, I go through the airport. Everybody in the airport we said them are Israeli. You know which part them come from? Russia and Germany. Just like how most of the white people them will start out a kill off the Native American them on Turkey Island. Irish people a runway from whatsoever that take place in England and all these places and come and go in England. Start going to Turkey Island there and kill off the Native American them and push them on some dry place and them call it Indian Reservation. Now for those of you who read the Bible, no, say Israel in the Bible is a man named Israel. Is a man named Israel. And his name was Jacob, according to the Bible. Before that, he was called Jacob. And Jacob had 12 sons and 1 daughter. And Israel, who was called Jacob, traveling, and the angel of the Lord come to Jacob. And he fought with the angel. This is what going on now in the Bible. He have a fight with the angel. And when him done fight with the angel, guess what? Him win the fight. The Bible says him fight with the Lord, you know. Him fight with the Lord, that the Bible say, at least the one when me read, say, him fight with the Lord. And him overcome. And him will get a blessing now. Him say, him name Jacob, and the Lord say, from that day on, you have fought and overcome, so you shall be called Israel. Israel is a man. Israel had 12 sons and 1 daughter. And out of those 12 sons come the 12 tribes of Israel. The 12, them never give the woman no stand in the night. Never give the woman no stand. She named Dinah, according to the Bible. So she have 12 sons. It's not she. I mean, Israel have 12 sons. A different woman have them for two. Anyway, Israel start out as a man, and McKay have 12 sons, and the 12 sons them disperse all over that part of the world. Him now become a Israel. The tribe of Israel is the sons of Israel. The sons of Israel is the tribe of Israel. The son, Jacob, son Israel. Israel have 12 sons. And out of that dynasty of sons come the Israelites. Meaning say it's the sons of Israel. The man, Jacob. Now, as it go down, it starts to become now a place. It become a place. The land of Israel. You see, when the Bible talk about the land flowing with milk and honey, it was the land of the Canaanites. God, according to the Bible, God sent the people them to take over the land. Kill all the people them when they take them land. That is the promised land. According to where them I say. The promised land is the land of the Canaanites, the land flowing with milk and honey. So they move out the land, the people them off of the land of Canaan, and take over the land and say, God give them the land there. Follow the story, you know, because if you don't believe me, go ask your pastor what I talk about, or go into the Bible for yourself and read it. So this man, when named Israel, become the representative of a nation of people called the Israelites. The Israelites. Not Israeli, the Israelites. The people them who was supposed to have been the Israelites is not the same people them were in Israel now. Non-apologetically we have said that. Them is not them. These people is people who did live in a Russia and Germany, and after the World War, them start to make place for move, because I remember I said the Russian them, and millions of Russians dead in the Second World War, you know. Millions. I mean, millions, when I say millions, I talk about like maybe 15 million, 20 million Russian dead. And the German them. So them also move and wanted to move out of that area. And England, they make us deal with them and say, all right, a little piece of land down at that place, down there, so, you know, where them call it Palestine. You know what we do? We will give a piece of land there for settle and build up yourself. In 1948, them get the land. But people that depend on the land, people that depend on the land when them go there, these people, them call them the Palestinians. And with the help of other nations, like America and England and all these places, the people them who go there from Russia and Germany and these places start to take over the land. And this is how now them get the people them who come there from Russia, them get converted to Judaism. It's converted, them get converted, just like how we get converted to Christianity. Them get converted to Judaism. And them create a state for themselves and start to now disregard the people them who did there, who never declare themselves as from the religion of the Judaism, and them use the part of the Bible them called the Torah. T-O-R-A-H, I think they spell it Torah. From Genesis to Malachi. From Genesis to Malachi is the where we call the Old Testament. Them call it the Torah. And that is the book where them use, because them not believe in a Jesus. From Matthew to Revelation, them do another part there. Them use the part from Genesis to Malachi. So, why we are saying this? Because of where we are going now. And we know, say, over the years we have said this many, many times before. In the 90s and in the 2000s, we have said this story many times before. They take over the land, and with the help of other so-called nations, especially America and England, them start to move the people them who they did there off of the land. And because them have might and power to back them, them become the sole and I got source, the sole people them who the land is designated to by some other invaders who call themselves England. Listen to this.
The Israel in the Bible is not the same Israel as today. And I know what you're thinking, and you're already jumping into conclusions, but hear me out. People are over here fighting and debating over a misunderstanding of what Israel actually means. They think that the modern Israel is the same as the...
Hey, you don't know how I feel when I find this thing, you know. You see that little clip here? May I tell you, give thanks to whosoever sent it to me, you know. Somebody sent it to me because them here say, me talk about this thing for a long time, you know. Thanks you for this clip here, but I want you to listen to this clip here. Something we have been saying for years.
The Israel in the Bible is not the same Israel as today. And I know what you're thinking, and you're already jumping into conclusions, but hear me out. People are over here fighting and debating over a misunderstanding of what Israel actually means. They think that the modern Israel is the same as the Israel God promised in the Bible. It's not. In the Bible, Israel means two things. First, Israel was a person. In Genesis 32, Jacob wrestled with God, literally fought him all night long. And after that, God changed his name to Israel, which means he struggles with God. Second, Israel became a nation. Jacob's 12 sons became the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people. But hear this out. They were not chosen because of their land. They were chosen because of God's promise.
Hey, for those of you who are just cutting edge for years, no say. Cutting edge has showed the people them this for years. And the past them and mislead the people them. Because you have people right now who that say a foolishness muta attack, you know, because my pastor said this and my pastor said that. Them never read it in the Bible. All you hear them talk about, them never read the Bible. We read the Bible. When we're in a 12 tribe, we read from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22. We don't remember everything in it, but there's certain things that we will never forget. Because we did an organization named the 12 Tribes of Israel. And you started to find out, according to the new moon, the first new moon, which in April, March, April, you start count the sun them from that time. The 12 sun them. So when we did talk about this, me never know other man are good at me heard it. But you know, say read the Bible because it's in where he must say in the Bible. And where we are say for how much years now, in the Bible. But because we are one Rasta, we barefoot Rasta, them go on like say we don't know where we are saying, we spot muta get them foolishness from both Israel is a man and all them something there. You hear them people, they say them are Israelite, them say them are Israeli. They never say them are Israelite, them say them are Israeli. So I could play what we started from the beginning, that you can't catch the drift. And where we are talking about that. You listen.
The Israel in the Bible is not the same Israel as today. And I know what you're thinking, and you're already jumping into conclusions, but hear me out. People are over here fighting and debating over a misunderstanding of what Israel actually means. They think that the modern Israel is the same as the Israel God promised in the Bible. It's not. In the Bible, Israel means two things. First, Israel was a person. In Genesis 32, Jacob wrestled with God, literally fought him all night long. And after that, God changed his name to Israel, which means he struggles with God. Second, Israel became a nation. Jacob's 12 sons became the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people. But hear this out. They were not chosen because of their land. They were chosen because of God's promise. The nation of Israel existed under kings like David and Solomon. But guess what? They lost their land. They were exiled because they turned away from God. Fast forward today, Israel was founded in 1948 as a political state. But that's not the same as biblical Israel. It's not ruled by biblical law. Not everyone there is a descendant of the 12 tribes. And the land does not define God's people. Faith does. So when people think that defending modern-day Israel is the same as defending God's chosen people, no, you're missing the whole point of Scripture. God's Israel was never about land, but about a relationship with Him.
Okay, so Pastor, are people who listen to me and go to church you can't have something to talk to the person about. And I am going to assume, say, it's not a black man attack that. So, I know no more want to believe what the white man say. That is why I'm glad that somebody sent me this clip here. You never talk to the person yet about biblical things. You never sit down and talk to the person about biblical things. And you just sit down in a church every Sunday and listen to what the pastor say and just gulp it down. Like say sugar, water, or not drink. When we there, so I talk about these things. So tell the people to turn off the radio. You know how much you tell me that over the years? My brother to me say, a mother in a Florida chew something and lick him in his foot. Because I listen to a cutting edge. Now, see a man say the same thing, you know. Israel. And most of them never read that in the Bible yet. So we're going to play something else too. We're going to play something else to disturb. You know. And me and Ian Bowen used to have many reasoning. Many reasoning. All on TV. I think I come from Ian Bowen program more than any other pastor. I mean, no pastor. Party program. Yes. All right. So here's the next one. Listen to that one now. All right, line up. Here we go.
The Gospels of the New Testament don't claim to be written by eyewitnesses, and in fact, they were not written by eyewitnesses. The Gospel writers were living 40 to 50 to 60 years after Jesus died. They wrote the Gospels in Greek. Jesus' language was Aramaic. These Gospel writers were living in a different country. Decades later, where did they get their information from? They were not the followers of Jesus. They don't claim to be followers of Jesus, the disciples. They're written by later people decades later in a different language. Where did they get their information from? They heard stories about Jesus that had been in circulation year after year after year, decade after decade, down to the time that the gospel writers living in a different country, speaking a different language, heard the stories. What happens to oral stories when they are transmitted orally? They change. The gospel writers have discrepancies among themselves because the stories that were told and retold were changed over time, and the gospel writers themselves sometimes changed the stories. That's why there are discrepancies. That's why scholars might be able to tell you generally what Jesus was about. They can list 8 things that Jesus did, but they can't tell you the details and agree. Why can't scholars agree? Because there are so many discrepancies that the Gospels are not reliable.
Okay. So that is one of the things that we get knocked for on this program for years. Who was Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? As a matter of fact, according to the same theologians, the books of Paul was written before Matthew, Luke, and John. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Paul writing was written before the 4 first book of the First Testament, the New Testament. And him never said God there, Jesus said. Him don't know Jesus. Can you imagine this? How many know him don't know Jesus? Because him said, him never know the man who them call Jesus. Him hear about him. And he was traveling on his way to Damascus. And something blind him, and him start to wake up and hear a voice that talk to him. And I saw him find Jesus. Him never know him, the man, physically, personally. A hearsay. And them him write so much letters to the European them, the Corinthians, the Romans, the Ephesians, the Galatians, to convert them to a person who him never know. But because the philosophy where him hear about the man was so proper in his sight, him start to spread that gospel all over Jerusalem and all over Europe. And him end up and get killed by the same Roman them. Macho, Mark. As a matter of fact, when you read them story there, if you really read it, I not talk about just read it according to where your mother used to talk about, or the pastor talk about. You personally read it yourself. You realize that certain things in there not add up. Certain things in there don't add up at all. People don't like hear them thing there. People don't like hear them thing there because it go against all of them that think. All of them that think. Them don't like hear it.
Martin Luther didn't like the Catholic Church and founded the Lutheran Church. Calvin didn't like the Lutheran Church and founded the Reformed or Calvinist Church. Henry VIII didn't like being denied Catholic marriage and founded the Anglican Church. John Smith disliked the Anglican Church and founded the Baptist Church. William Miller didn't like the Baptist Church and founded the Adventist. Ellen G. White really liked what William Miller said and founded the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Charles T. Russell didn't like the Adventist Church and founded Jehovah's Witnesses. Joseph Smith disliked the Methodist Church and founded the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. John Wesley disliked the Anglican Church and founded the Methodist Church. Some pastors didn't like the Methodist Church and founded the Pentecostal Church. Many did not like the Pentecostal Church and founded thousands of churches like Stop Suffering, Assemblies of God, Light of the World, etc. The evangelical movement came from the Baptist Church, while the different born-again movement came from the evangelical churches. The born-again faith emerged in the late 1930s from the U.S., and it gained popularity in the 1970s and 1980s, its golden age. There are now 35,000 different so-called Christian religions who claims their interpretation of the Bible is the right one.
Okay. Wanna hear that? Wanna hear that? You can go dig it up for yourself because you have books where record these stories and tell you. Listen.
You're saying the man who translated the Bible be his own mother?
Oh, yeah. King James I, the man behind the King James Bible, had his mother Mary, Queen of Scots, locked up and then executed, allegedly. He worked with his aunt, Queen Elizabeth I, to make it happen. Why? So he could secure his place as King of England. That's not exactly the kind of story you'd expect from someone tied to the Bible, is it? But it doesn't stop there. James had a thing for demonology. He wasn't just curious about it. He wrote an entire book, Demonology, all about witches, demons.
All right, make us stop here, sir, about demonology. I have that book. A man send a book, they come give me. Same never know, say, King James was affiliated with other books other than the Bible. Well, I have the book. And when you're looking at the book, you're frightened to know, says this man here claimed to translate the book with other men. Because them says 40 different scholars him got together to really translate the book from other books. So film version is a version. You know what version mean? It's a King James version. That's a film version, you know. King James authorized that version. So if King James version is where I read, wanted the version before film version. Because remember I said the first time it was written in Aramaic. Not Amharic, you know, not Amharic, like Ethiopian language. A different language they used to talk in Jerusalem. Now remember, I say never have no. I could come back with it. At 12 o'clock. The demonology book where King James put out. A film thinking in another book there. Film thinking. I don't know if it's online, but maybe you can find it online too. As a matter of fact, maybe they have an audio book too. Yes, that is how science and technology to go now. You just go up on YouTube and just look for Demonology by King James. I mean, we can listen it. It's not a joke thing. Because a whole heap of the things them, they're right in front of you, But because we just don't have a thinking in our head before, it's very difficult to remove them thinking there when reality come liquid now. A man prefer hold on upon him all time religious beliefs and don't recognize you have to, your brains, human brains don't function in a static, not static. It's not static. And I have to mention Ian Bowen. I'm a brethren, and him have me as a brethren too. You know much time I walk on the road, and people say, say Ian Bowen talk about you every day in I'm church. I say, what about talk about me? Say, if I say, why, Muta is not a fool, That is why it called me with him big Reverend Chisholm. And then when the program done behind the screen, him attack, him begs with Chisholm. Because I think that Chisholm did not lay me dead. With the conversation where we have on the radio. And more than 2 times, me and Chisholm clash up. Not to mention others where we depend. That it become a thing with him. Because him sit down and say, any night I'll know. If me call him right now, I'm yard. Him sit down and listen to cutting edge. And them invite me up at the theological college and when me attack them and say, but that is what we learn in the theological college. So they say, them learn something in the theological college where the pastor now tell you in a church. Them learn something up at theological college where the pastor not telling you in church. But because some of them afraid to use them brains, them come out back with the same argument where them did have before them going there. And we never go to theological college. We never go to university. But over a period of time, we were so caught up into understanding where we are getting ourselves in as Rasta that we really want to find out what is this thing, this Bible story and all these things. So I could go back with King James.
You're saying the man who translated the Bible beheaded his own mother?
Oh, yeah. King James I, the man behind the King James Bible, had his mother Mary, Queen of Scots, locked up and then executed, allegedly. He worked with his aunt, Queen Elizabeth I, to make it happen. Why? So he could secure his place as King of England. That's not exactly the kind of story you'd expect from someone tied to the Bible, is it? But it doesn't stop there. James had a thing for demonology. He wasn't just curious about it. He wrote an entire book, Demonology, all about witches, demons, and their nasty tricks. And this is the same guy who decided, hey, I should translate the Bible for everyone. And then there's his personal life. Rumors say he had questionable relationships with men, including his cousin, and he wasn't exactly known for being morally upright. Yet this is the man people trust for one of the most influential versions of the Bible. Do you see the problem here? Now let's talk about the translation itself. King James didn't write the Bible, but he commissioned it to solve political and religious problems in his kingdom. It wasn't just about faith, it was about control. He needed a version of the Bible that supported his rule and brought peace to a divided nation. That's the agenda nobody talks about.
Nobody talk about it. Why did he translate the book? Was it because of, wanting people to go closer to God or really accept Jesus Christ as their personal savior? No, it wasn't that. It's control. Control. And what better control you can say than the control we have over black people? What more control it have more than where black people get controlled by it? This invisible God where most people talk about. Anything happen, whether it's bad or it's good. Well, a bad man. You say even the devil know God and fear him. Well, the same thing. Bad man a Bible a read and a quote Bible and all everywhere there. A terrible thing. Terrible thing. There is something that is missing from the minds of the people, them, and that is critically thinking about what we thought we knew as reality or as real. Critically thinking. We don't want to critically think about nothing, especially the religion, because 500 years of degradation from black people, 500 years of blood, sweat, and tears coming across the Atlantic Ocean and wipe out a generations on top of generations of people. And then we come here so and them give way a book. And that book is supposed to save we from them. And I keep repeating what Sizzler say. I wonder if Sizzler remember saying sing that tune now. The white God cannot save you from white man oppression. Because if the God where you was praying to was the right God, how could he make you be into this madness for 500 years? And the people them who put you in it, when you look on them are prosper. And if you want to prosper like them, sometimes you have to turn criminal. We never used to do things with them as we used to do. We never own. Boy, I'm glad some people are just to consider, you know, trust me. Because all the things that we do and bring out, we can put a different voice to it now and people know say. But somebody else that say it. Listen to this.
I've never owned anyone. My neighbors, as far as I know, have never been owned by anyone. But the people who say we don't owe any reparations for the Civil War are ignoring something really huge. Or maybe they just don't know. Some people already got reparations. White people. White enslavers were paid for losing their human property. The actual people who were raped, tortured, whipped, and sold, and worse, were promised land to get a fresh start after the war, but they got nothing. When slavery was abolished, Congress paid nearly $1 million, which is 30 million in today's bucks, to white enslavers as compensation for losing their property in a war they lost. If a freed person didn't hit the road fast enough, they risked being re-enslaved under new laws that were just workarounds for all these white people losing their slaves. After the Civil War ended, Union General Sherman set aside 400,000 acres of confiscated Confederate land for black families to start new lives on, up to 40 acres each. The Army loaned out mules to help them work the land. That's where the phrase 40 acres and a mule comes from. Black people were already working some of this land when Lincoln was assassinated and Andrew Johnson became president. Well, Johnson reversed the order. He gave the land back to the same Confederates who had just tried to destroy the country. The freed people were evicted. So they made all these things into crimes that were non-crimes. They were things like, if a black person didn't have a job, that was a crime. If a black person couldn't prove that they had a job, that was a crime. You could get arrested for that and a lot of other ridiculous things. But once you were in jail, you could be leased out as labor for private profit. This system of convict leasing allowed white landowners and businesses to replace slavery with something just as violent, just as profitable as slavery. No wonder there are still Confederate flags all across the South. Even after slavery was abolished, black Americans were not safe. Public lynchings became a regular threat. They were a form of terror used to keep free people in their place. They were planned events announced in advance, so everybody...
Yes. When you listen to them things, them things is like, oh, we play the music there, and so we play them things, that's why I'm so short, because when I get bored, when you listen...
This is the first time I would say I am really, really proud of my ancestors, because they left nothing behind. Nothing at all. I've traveled the world as a black man, and I have never seen a black country where the people who live in it are foreigners that were brought there by blacks as slaves. Not one single country. Yet the black race has more countries on earth than any other country. 54 are on the continent. 13 black countries in the Caribbean. So 68 black countries. There's not a single black country where slaves were bought from outside by black people. I've traveled the world. Not a single country in the world colonized by a black country. There's nowhere you go on Mother Earth where the language they are speaking was imposed on them by force by a black country. I've traveled the world and I've never seen a religion that is imposed upon anybody anywhere in this world by a black country. There are 68 black countries in the world, the largest continent by number of countries. Not a single one of them has a nuclear weapon of mass destruction. Black countries across the world, none of them is responsible for what we call the military complex, where we are manufacturing dirty bombs and sending things into the water to pollute people. I've traveled the world and I'm yet to see one product that was forced to be sold in another country by a black country. So it means the black race is the only race on earth that represents what the United Nations have been looking for the last 100 years, peace. Yes, we fought internal wars just like anybody, and that is all we did. Therefore, in my travels, there was no place I went on earth where the people there pointed fingers at me and say, your people did this to me. Never. The black person is the only one who travels this earth and no one will point a finger. That's what my ancestors left behind. Nothing.
Holy shit.
That has to be definitely, I'd say, more powerful than anything.
Yes. Take a promise. The African them in America, 40 acre and a mule. That was then. Up to now, them never get 40 acres and a mule. 40 acres and a mule, that was never given to the African them. Kind of somebody man say, multiply that by that by that. Supposed to get all the way. Tesla car, them name them make. Yeah. Okay, so we want to play this. But after we play this, after the advertisement, we're going to take some phone call. So take the phone call them after we play this, and then the ad them going to come, and we just work out the phone call them.
Iron FM really rocking, you know?
Okay. Sorry about that. I could start it over.
They don't teach you this in school, but let me put you up on it. Before slavery, black people weren't just running around in huts. Nah, Africa was home to some of the most powerful empires, richest rulers, and greatest intellectual centers the world has ever seen. Let's talk about the real Africa before slavery. Africa wasn't just one place. It was a continent full of advanced civilizations. Let's start with the Mali Empire, home to Mansa Musa, the richest man in history. This brother was so wealthy that when he traveled to Egypt, he gave away so much gold that it crashed their entire economy for 10 years. And then we had the Songhai Empire, which controlled massive trade routes and had an organized government, tax systems, and military forces that rivaled Europe. And let's talk about Timbuktu, one of the greatest learning centers in the world. Before Europe even had universities on that level, Africans were studying mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy in massive libraries and schools. The University of Sankore in Timbuktu had tens of thousands of books. Some are the oldest books in the world. And let's be clear, Africa was a global trade powerhouse. West African kingdoms traded gold, ivory, spices, textiles, and even advanced weaponry with Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. African artisans were masters of bronze, gold, and terracotta, creating sculptures and jewelry that are now in museums around the world. And when it comes to technology, Africans were smelting iron, forging steel, and engineering irrigation systems before most parts of the world. So why don't they teach us this? Because if they did, we wouldn't grow up thinking our history started with slavery. Black people weren't just victims. We were architects, we were warriors, scholars, and kings and queens. Africa was thriving long before European colonization. It's time to rewrite the narrative, y'all. Black history didn't start in chains, it started in greatness. So drop a black fist in the comments if you're claiming your history and share this to make sure that the truth gets told.
Well, that we are the sister. That we are the serious thing. Almost all long we have said these things over and over and over and over. And now we find out that many people have said the same thing, but don't even know me. Yes. That's why we say we not stop. We not stop. Believe you me. If we couldn't spend so much years to talk these things and just we want to say it. No, sir. It did there before we come here. I talk about there when we gone. Because this truth have to be told to African people. Because not only where I want to open, you know, it's where mind and our brains want to open. Them take out all of the fullness out of our head and put garbage in there. That is why the whole of we now run up and down with for them kind of clothes and them the thinking in our head, for them thinking, them put them thinking in our head. And we feel say we. Yeah, we are do things and feel say we are do it. It's like some little zombies.
Most people know Washington, D.C. as the capital of the United States. But what they don't know is that the city was partly designed by a black man, a self-taught genius, named Benjamin Banneker. Born in 1731 to a free black woman and an enslaved black man.
Hey, a Black History Month, every month on that program, you know. Should I know that by now, you know, a Black History Month, every month on that program. We don't wait till a certain month to declare that.
Most people know Washington, D.C. as the capital of the United States. But what they don't know is that the city was partly designed by a black man, a self-taught genius, named Benjamin Banneker. Born in 1731 to a free black woman and an enslaved black man, Banneker had almost no formal education. By teaching himself astronomy, mathematics, and engineering, he changed American history. In 1791, President George Washington decided to build a new federal city. Banneker helped survey and map the land. He worked with Major Andrew Ellicott on the layout of Washington, D.C. But then, disaster struck. Pierre Charles L'Enfant, the main city planner, quit and took the only plans with him. Everyone panicked. The entire project was at risk. But Banneker had memorized the entire layout. From memory alone, he reproduced the city plans down to the streets, avenues, and key landmarks. Thanks to Banneker, the vision for Washington, D.C. was saved. A self-taught black man helped build the capital of a nation that denied him rights, but not his legacy. This is black history you won't find in your school books.
Listen, you know. Listen. When I just play them things because we just play them for upset yourself. It's a revelation we give you. Revelation. Whole heap of one never know that. A black man design Washington, D.C., the capital of America. So, yes, taking the phone call them now, yes, here.
Here, the muta.
Blessed man.
Long time not showed up on the program.
I wonder why you told me today.
I tell you because, brother, you download me so much information, you cannot keep me up tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, man.
Right,
but I make 2 points. There's a book where you call Demonology by Christopher, by King James.
Yeah.
You can get a book upon archive.org. and download any book free, over 50 million book. You can download them free. You get Marcus Garvey, Philosophy and Opinion.
Yeah, well, tell the people them louder than that. Make them hear.
Yeah, people, and Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. You read a book there with King James book, Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. But what me don't want to talk about that. There's also a book called The Negro's Christian.
No, hold on, man. You go too fast. You go get to talk. You don't have to roast them out.
All right, sir.
Tell the people them which part them can get the demonology book when we just start about.
Yeah, you can get free on the internet, archive.org. Archive.org. You have over 50 million free books can download. Audio books also. They share so much information.
All right. So
yeah, but you know, I want you know this muta. You know that no Jew and no Muslim not believe in a God.
Well, them not say God, them say Allah. The Jew,
all
them,
right.
Most of the Jews, them are atheists. No, the one them in Israel, most of them are atheists, you know.
Yeah, not only that, because through their history, you know, remember, you know, God is a European country. God have one son, sit down on his right hand, you know. No Jew or Muslim not believe that God have a son, you know.
No, well,
yeah, listen how stupid it is now.
Islam no believe say God have son neither.
Yeah, for real.
But them accept Jesus, but them believe in a Jesus.
Yeah, right. They understand who Jesus was. Yeah. According to their history. There was nobody in the Bible named Andrew, Philip, Mark, Thomas.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, man. Matthew, Mark, Luke. Yeah.
But not only that, none of the disciples name them never have those names in the Bible. I'm going to show you something. Maybe get down to it fast, because maybe somebody else want to talk. Look how stupid it is. In heaven, God, when they live comfortable, no problem, till Satan rise up against him. Satan deceive much. Angel 1/3. Then God cast him down after a war. Satan come in the earth now in a garden of Eden. Adam and Eve, they live so nice and everything. According to them Bible, you know. Satan deceive Eve and Adam. God drive them out. You don't know what God do. God sent his son. One have nothing to do with the deception of angel nor Adam or Eve. He come dead for people.
Yeah, and them still don't get saved.
And Satan, who they get the problem, God, no, you know, he make them kill his son, you know, brother.
Yeah.
And yet Satan, who the troublemaker, them not kill him.
Still have him there. Sometimes I'm a lion, sometimes I'm a, you know, a wolf in a sea, clubbing, sometimes a serpent. Brother, people that look for Satan and don't know who them look for. The Bible say God create evil, you know. Of course the Bible said that. Yeah. In Isaiah 47 verse 15. See, boy, you know your Bible. You know your Bible, man.
But listen to the wickedest thing now on the motor.
God create evil.
The wickedest thing at Genesis 1 verse 1.
Yes.
And people now understand this.
So it make the light before the sun.
No, me don't talk about that. There is no way in the Bible, in the scripture, in the Torah, say that God make heaven or earth or nothing. There is no way in a Genesis says God make or create nothing in the Torah. King James Version twisted to that. What if Genesis was saying anybody can download it from the internet or read it from the internet? It said in the beginning, Elohim made the heavens.
Elohim never say God say, but the same thing them attack.
Elohim is the plural word for gods.
Yeah, I know, but when I say the same thing, I don't think them a pluralize it.
No, but listen to
me. Because I don't use the word God, because I don't really use the word God.
No, but let me remember what point. So you see in Genesis 1 verse 26, here the gods they talk now, come let us make man.
Make man in our own image.
All right. You see after Adam and Eve sin, here the gods they talk. The man have sinned and become as one as us.
Them knowing good and evil.
All right. In Genesis 11, when they build the building figure heaven, here the gods they talk. Come let us go down to see the temple, the building that man is building.
Yes.
All right. There was another time when Israel.
And then him run with him and say him go there and go find a wife.
All right, brother, may I tell you.
And Genesis 4 say, and the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fear.
All right.
The sons of God, capital God, yeah.
But not only that, there's a war between Israel and Judah, you know, because they're split up. So King Joseph and King Ahab, they go war. So then send for some prophet and say, look here, make we hear why prophet him say, if you go up. So then send and the sons of the prophet come and then say blah 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 blah. Then say, we don't want to hear him. You don't have nobody else who can bring out what I king say, yeah man, you know me have a man here, but he never thought nothing which part we want to hear. But man, alright, bring him come at me what I say. So the man come out here, Micaiah or Micah. So he say, what you have to say about it? He say, boy, I don't go up in a car, God don't get it. The king say, you see it? Me tell you say now go son. The man say, alright, listen what me see now. Me see heaven gather together and God in the middle. With all the hosts around him. And God began to ask them, say, who we go send to deceive this king here?
God put the tongue, the lion tongue in the man.
So what I'm saying, you go back right to Genesis 1. You understand me?
Yeah, read the Bible, Richard. Yeah, read the Bible.
God, Elohim. People don't understand that.
Yeah, read the Bible, man. So God put a lie.
Spirit.
In the spirit of lie from God going on the man.
You understand?
Yeah.
In the council.
At 2 times him do it too, you know. 2 times I can tell him, I must say I'm grand. And when him, you know, the first part, Abraham.
Right.
The half sister. Right. So tell him, say I know your sister.
You understand? So now the best description of God in Daniel chapter 7. Verse 9 go down where they say God sit down the key ancient of days with long white hair.
Yeah.
You understand me? And fire around him and angel around him and all these things. That are the description of the God of people worship, you know.
Yeah.
And at the same time then twist and tell us say the God is the creator. But look at this. In the Bible, God commit more murder, more
genocide.
More wicked and tell people even
on them.
After 300 years when
Moses
he come out of Egypt, God rise up King Saul and say, remember what Amalek do? Man, you go kill out all of them people then.
Yeah.
Hey, brother, right now, me not see the reason why I should have done that. The Bible say God hates Saul. And then he call David and say, yo, man after my own heart, more you fit do what me say.
Yeah.
And that's the God of black people take up now. So when you read the book that is called The Negroes Christianized, you can find a book online. I read it 17 page. In the book, it said that even though the Negroes shall own nothing upon the face of the earth, they shall be giant heirs in heaven with God. So you know, if you own nothing, black people, if you own nothing, we go on one place in Dumfries or in Adelphi, on big old ganja farm. Every 3 months shipment of ganja they go. Black people have to own a farm. Black people have to own more than a certain amount if they hold it with that.
Oh, yeah, boss pan the man them, so Rasta. Oh, yeah, boss pan the man them, so you tell me part of plan.
No, but in a not privacy. One when they out of Westgate in a Montego Bay, they move.
But you ball out this part of the man them a plan the ganja.
Let me tell you what I sit to them.
Yeah, police.
Let me sit to yeah, because guess what? We under slave master rule and the slave master regime, we might have been controlled by them.
So that's why you boss pan the man them.
Black people want to go to heaven, and at the same time, they don't own nothing on the face of the earth.
All right, sir. All right, give thanks, your brethren.
Oh, you mean bless up yourself and bless up the people. So archive.org, you can get any book you want.
Yeah, man. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yel.
Mutabaruka.
Yes, sir.
Respect, I.
Blessed, man.
First time caller.
Oh, what?
Yeah, man. I call from overseas, you know.
Which part you call overseas?
Mary Maka, man.
Mary Maka? That no Mary again, you know.
The Mary boy. Be a Maka over here.
That me I tell you. So what we say now?
I'm just calling to big up there, you know, man.
Okay.
Because the work we are doing, trust me, I tell you. Them work here is invaluable.
Yeah.
Because I pity a program like this, you know, come on at hours like this. Because youth need to learn some of them something away.
Yeah, them not learn it, man. Yeah, them not learn it, man. Watch out. You saw me just start that program, yeah? Me did a wonder, because people say, them should have put you on at the day, man, but guess what? You know much youth all over the world when me travel go. When you see they are Jamaica, and they are universities, you know. And so them used to listen to me when them do them homework up at university, when them have to put them phone on at the radio, sorry, the little transistor radio on the pillar, and all them something there. So, me not worry about the time. Them are listening, you know, whosoever will make up, them are listening.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because I want to say, I just saw it go, you know, one listen and the next one share, because even though with my youth, them, you know, a lot of the information where I pass on, especially when it come on to Garvey and them great people, and them something they may teach them, you know.
And when we just start, you never have YouTube.
Yeah.
And now
because
every program we do, them tape.
I really YouTube make me can listen back certain things.
Yeah, that me I say. So,
one of the greatest interview when me catch from you was one with Dr. Ray Higgins.
Okay, yeah, but when they bring him down,
that interview there is like that changed my life. My whole life changed.
Yeah, man.
You know, because you see the fear when me used to have as a youth, I grew up under them Christendom vibration. And me I walk down and me I say something not right about this. Oh, me feel so bad about God. When you say God love you, so me feel so bad, like me just afraid.
Yeah, you're supposed to afraid.
But me still afraid. Everything me I do. You know? And me I say, no man. And when me start listening to certain things and me go around certain Rasta people in my family, I say, no man. Easy man, schism man. There's a trickster and a hole. To try a hole on the dump. And me still never believe, because me I say no, so it could come like a una try trick me. Me don't know who a trick me, who a try trick me. If I'm a family or for the system, yeah. You know. But me give thanks for the eye, because the whole I get, I mean I listen to you and me do my research, as you always say, you know, don't take your word for it, do your research. But that program there, that interview there with Dr. Ray Higgins, yeah man, that program there. And the fact that him actually have talked about our great Marcus Garvey, you know, and how him always says, yo, you know, black people won't do.
Yeah, man.
The white man, you know?
Yeah.
So I give thanks to that, because
yeah, man,
a lot of things I think that my youth, them I learn it too, you know.
Yeah, all right.
And with the sorry say some of them things are not going to the school then, because they will more teach Christianity, they have to teach them about Garvey. Yeah. But give thanks to the eye, big up. Me that hold for a long time, but me call back again.
No, man. Give thanks. Give thanks, Virgin.
Yale Muta.
How you do, man?
Yeah, not bad. But, you know, last week Thursday, when we were speaking and thing, you know, later that night, I want to say condolences to the family of Carlton Brown, who was in my year at Kingston Technical. He passed away last Thursday, 10:30 in New York City hospital. He was sick. And Carlton Brown, his older brother, who was a year before me at Technical, Errol Brown, was engineer at Duke Reed Studio. Remember?
Remember Errol Brown.
Right. Well, his brother, who was in my year to a Technical day, Carlton. Yeah, he passed away. So throat cancer thing, you know. So making Kingston Technical people know about that.
And then yesterday, Leroy Gibbons there.
Leroy Gibbons, yes. I tell you, Tuesday in Hanover, in a studio there, Western Jamaica, that say like his heart attack. And, you know, Gibbons was a good bridge of mine, because in 1987, when I brought in Arrows International from East Kingston to come play in England, it was the only time in history that an entire sound ship, amplifier, and record box, the whole sound ship, and come here and play. And Leroy Gibbons was one of the persons with Arrows Sound at the time, along with Shaka Shamba.
Carlton used to go Kingston Tech too. Arrows Bridge, he used to go Kingston Tech too.
Yes, that is Philip. Yeah, Philip Linton.
Philip Linton,
Bill. Yeah, Bill. Yeah, man. You know. Kingston, just like Black Star, Danny Black Star used to go Kingston Technical. Same here as you and, in fact, you and Philip Linton and Donald Darling, Black Star from Uptown, Elizabeth. It's the same here at Kingston Technical.
Same here, yeah.
same here, you know, and thing. But Leroy Gibbons, man, from Gregory Park, St.
I tell you, man.
Yeah, man, brilliant performer.
Oh, you mean, man?
Over sound chip on stage, man, dynamic, man, you know. And you remember a few years ago, him did get shot out by Port Henderson?
No, I never remember about that.
Yeah, man, he was jogging and thing. Yes, some shooting thing. Yes, some attempted robbery business, you know. Yes, Leroy Gibbons. He grew up in the church at Gregory Park, you know. So he was singing in the church and thing. And, you know, Willie Williams, who sing Armageddon, the Studio One classic, great Willie Williams. Willie was saying... I
talk to him regular, you know, Willie Williams. I talk to him regular.
Right, yeah, me know, man, him tell me. He might tell me that his cousin Leroy Brown, who is now in Jamaica, that him and Leroy Gibbons used to in a group in Canada known as The Rise.